time to talk movies. Can I get that out? Film critic Josh Bell is here for the Bell Breakdown. We were saying it's the last weekend in September already.
Yeah, time flies. We're going to be getting into fall and Oscar season really soon, strangely enough.
The million award shows, right?
Yeah,
that start and kick off.
It's a whole machine that's about to be set into motion.
It is. All right, a lot of people talking about The Joker this week, but that's coming out next week, and we'll review it then,
we
right?
will. And talking about Oscar season, that's even getting some awards talk, which is kind of crazy, but we'll see next week.
Okay. The first one I wanted to talk about is Abominable, and that is a DreamWorks animated movie, and usually like the animated movies.
I like some of them. I think we've had some pretty bad animated movies this year, but we had some good ones too. Pixar had a great one with Toy Story 4.
Right.
And DreamWorks is probably second tier behind Pixar. They had their How to Train Your Dragon movie earlier this year, the third one in that series. And this movie aims for a similar sensibility. I think it's about a young girl, and she befriends a Yeti or an abominable snowman, as we were talking about earlier. She finds this cute little, well, not little, but little compared to other Yetis, on her the roof of her apartment building, and they name him Everest because they have to take him back to Mount Everest to reunite him with his family. And of course, there's some evil scientists who are chasing them along the way. And
how did he get on the roof of the apartment building?
He escaped from the evil scientists' captivity. And so he's running away and befriends this girl and a couple of her neighbors, and they take off and they learn about friendship and, you know, the importance of family and on all that stuff. And it's kind of basic and simple. I mean, which is okay. Some DreamWorks movies, especially like the later Shrek movies, get really frantic and kind of irritating. And this movie is a little calmer. It's a little more low-key. Has some pretty animation. It's kind of boring, though. I think if you got kids and you need to put them in front of something, this is all right. But you can also have, I have a friend who always takes his daughter to movies and then he falls asleep.
Oh, he takes a nap.
And I think this is the perfect movie for him to take his daughter to and then take a nap, because there's really not a whole lot here for adult audiences. And even kids, I think, might get a little restless at times, but the Yeti is cute. He'll make a good toy. It's mildly entertaining at times. There's some okay voice actors. Eddie Izzard plays the villain. And yeah, it's pretty forgettable though.
Is it long?
No, it's not long. It's perfectly 90-ish minutes. It's acceptable, you know, to take kids to. And I think as DreamWorks movies go, they've done better. Especially, I think people love those How to Train Your Dragon movies, and this doesn't have the visual splendor of those, but it's okay.
It's okay. All right. It's okay. If you need something to put the kids in front of, this might be it.
Exactly.
Moving on, though, this movie getting a lot of Oscar buzz. It's called Judy, and it's the Judy Garland biopic starring Renee Zellweger. And I know not only the film itself is getting a lot of rave reviews, but Renee Zellweger as well, right?
Yeah, it's really mainly for her performance that this movie is getting this awards buzz. I mean, as a biopic, it's also okay. It's probably a little better than okay. It focuses on the last year or so of Judy Garland's life when she's struggling with a lot of financial issues and addiction issues and relationship issues and all sorts of problems. And she's also trying to mount a comeback of sorts. And she does this run of concerts in London, which go really well and also really poorly, kind of depending on the night and depending on her condition. So it's not a full birth to death kind of thing. There's some flashbacks to her early days when she's working on The Wizard of Oz, gives you a sense of kind of what happened to her as a kid that messed her up later in life. But it hits a lot of familiar beats with the biopic stuff, especially with her relationship with her fifth husband, I think it is, played by Finn Wittrock. But Renee Zellweger is great. I mean, she really gets across the larger-than-life celebrity sense of this person, but also the vulnerability of her, the way that she's become isolated, the way that people have kind of mistreated her throughout her career. And then you go to the performances, and she does her own singing, Renee Zellweger, and she's not Judy Garland, but it's pretty good. And I think because the movie is about this woman in a place where she's struggling, that if she doesn't always sound amazingly on, that's kind of part of the story.
Right.
So I think it works well, really because of her performance. And if you're interested in Judy Garland or in kind of Hollywood history, then I think this movie's worth seeing. It's only at, I think, 4 theaters here in town, but because of that Oscar buzz, I think it's probably going to expand in the next few weeks, so people will get a chance to see it.
Yeah, it seems like it's enjoyable and worth going to see.
Yeah, it's worth going to see. I mean, maybe, you know, don't take the kids tickets to this
Okay.
one, but
Yeah, don't. Put them in the other
you know,
one and
for
give them
not
a
for
babysitter or
yeah,
something.
exactly. Take them to Abominable and
Gotcha.
then have an evening with Judy. So yeah, I liked it.
All right, good. You liked it. I love that, Josh Bell. That makes the end of September even more grand.
Awesome.
We'll see you next week, though, and we'll talk about The Joker and many
Yes.
more films as well. Stay with us. That was the Bell Breakdown. We'll be back after this.